Hey guys, we're going to take a look at using the if function to create a minimum quantity of hours based on a square footage for installation. We're going to take a look here at our paver base installation. We want to be able to type in a square footage here and for it to shoot out how many hours is this going to take. So let's start as a baseline, about 350 square feet, and whenever we are creating these amounts for the very first time, a good place is to start with something you know, a square footage of wall or drywall, paint, retaining wall, paver patio, sod. Use some quantity that you're pretty familiar with and that you think you have a good idea of how many hours it's going to take to do that, and then reverse engineer that. Work backwards to come up with the number of man hours. And just a footnote, whenever you're creating something like this for the first time, it's going to feel small. It's going to feel like the hours, like you can get more done per hour. It's going to feel off. But once you start building out the catalog and producing proposals, then you can compare it to proposals you've made in the past. And the combination of those things are going to help you fine tune this. This is going to be a function for creating that base so that you can tune it later. So we'll start by 350 hours. And let's say we can get, 350 square feet, we can get done in about 20 hours. So we'll divide it by 20. That gives us about 17.5 square foot of gravel base for a paver patio that can be installed per man hour. So we're going to use that metric. We're going to go into the set quantity with formula. We're in the catalog, by the way. We're not in a budget. So we'll set the formula. And we will say parent quantity divided by 17.5 is going to produce 20 hours, just the way we like it, right there. Okay, now we've got our function. We type in a number. Let's say it's a 250 square foot patio. It's going to take 14.2857 hours. So now what do we do about producing a minimum? What if someone wanted to put in, say, 25 square feet and we've got 1.4286 hours? That doesn't really work out because there's load time, there's, when you're building something, you've got some sort of startup costs that are going to be associated with that, some sort of startup hours. We want the minimum to be 4 hours. So we'll come into our function, and we're going to create an if statement. And the syntax for the if statement is if, and then these brackets. These brackets contain the function. There's a condition. The comma separates the items within the function. There's condition, there's when it's true, comma, and then when it's false. This condition is going to produce a true or false result. So let's start with this. We'll come here, say if our formula, the parent quantity divided by 17.5, if that is less than 4, then we need the result. If that's true and it's less than 4 hours, we need it to result in 4. If it is true, then we will take our formula, copy it, paste it, and then close the bracket. So what this function says is if the square footage divided by 17.5, if that's less than 4 hours, then spit out the result 4. If it's more than 4 hours and this statement here is false, then do what? Just run the formula. So we're going to close this, save it. And now if we are less than, what is 150 feet? Okay, so now we're over the hours there. If it's less, let's say there's 6 square feet, there's 4. 64 square feet, 4 hours. 645 square feet, 36 hours. So that's how we can use the if statement to produce a minimum quantity amount.